Here's your wrestling news for July 17th, 2022, and we're kicking off today with WCW for a change. And it was in 1997 that a bright new star debuted and began racking up wins at an alarming rate. That man would of course be Bill Goldberg, the WWE Hall of Famer and former world champion who may be back on our screens very soon. PW Insider reports that the WWE has scheduled the September 23rd episode of SmackDown in Salt Lake City, Utah, which holds great significance for Goldberg. It was in Salt Lake City on September 22, 1997 that Goldberg made his debut, crushing Hugh Morris in decisive fashion. That night's SmackDown will mark 25 years of the man called Goldberg, and with recent anniversaries for John Cena and Randy Orton being celebrated, don't be surprised if the former Universal Champion makes a return. One of Goldberg's biggest accomplishments was his incredible winning streak in WCW, which saw him win 173 matches before losing to Kevin Nash. Now though, another winning streak has emerged as AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill hasn't been beaten in 500 days, surpassing the 462 days Goldberg went without tasting defeat. It's worth noting that Cargill isn't anywhere close to the 173 wins figure Goldberg reached, having had less than 40 matches in her professional career. With that said, going 500 days without taking a loss is still an impressive feat for the AEW TBS champion, who has shown no sign of dropping the title anytime soon. Cargill is certainly comfortable with her role in AEW, but now another member of the roster may be finishing up with the company. On Twitter, Fuego del Sol has made several adjustments to his profile, including removing all references to being employed by AEW. Del Sol has also changed his profile picture and background image to all black and recently fired off a tweet saying that change is about to come. It was a year ago that Del Sol was trying to earn himself a contract with AEW, and while he came up short against then TNT champion Miro, Tony Khan granted him a deal. Now though, it seems Del Sol's tenure with AEW is coming to an end, if it's not already finished. Earlier this week, it was reported that Monday Night Raw will soon be rated TV-14 after 14 years as a PG show. While the change won't begin on next week's Raw as first reported, this is still a huge deal for fans and could soon see other brands follow suit. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained that the decision to change Raw's rating was done by the USA Network, who also air NXT 2.0, and it's likely that the paint-splattered brand will also be rated TV-14 soon enough. As for SmackDown, the blue brand is aired by Fox, and it would be up to them whether they wanted to make the change, not WWE. On this week's episode of SmackDown, Pat McAfee alluded to the news of the TV-14 rating, saying SmackDown is not that rating yet, implying that it could be coming down the line. It has been reported that much of Raw's product will not change despite the TV-14 rating, but it may soon be much more than the red brand that ditches being PG. More from AEW now, as Andrade El Idolo is the latest wrestler to be injured, as confirmed by Tony Khan in a tweet. Andrade's last match came on the June 22nd Dynamite, meaning it's been nearly a month since he wrestled, and now we know more about his condition. In a social media post of his own, the former NXT and WWE United States champion revealed that it's nothing serious and that he has inflammation in his ankle. Andrade chalked the injury up to being in the wrestling industry for 20 years, but is remaining positive despite this latest setback. El Idolo had been originally scheduled to face Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door, but due to complications between AAA and CMLL, he was pulled and replaced by Orange Cassidy. Andrade isn't alone on the injured list, as CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, Santana, Jungle Boy, Penelope Ford, The Bunny, and even more in AEW are also injured, and we wish them all a speedy recovery. On this week's edition of Raw, Brock Lesnar appeared to speak about his impending Last Man Standing match at Summerslam and vowed to give Roman Reigns a We have censored the word, and the word was bleeped over on Raw, which has come as a surprise to those within WWE. During the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, it was noted that WWE were granted permission to use the term in full by the USA Network, and the plan was for it to be aired unedited. Despite this approval, the network later decided to bleep the word out without telling people in WWE. The current format means that the network has anywhere from 7 to 30 seconds notice during a live Raw, giving them time to bleep out words during the show. With talks of the impending TV 14 rating, terms like will presumably be allowed on Raw soon, but it was too much for the USA Network this week, despite what they'd previously told WWE. Now, there was a time when it seemed like Michael Elgin was destined to become a big star of pro wrestling, but his fall from grace has been well documented. It was last summer that the former Impact Wrestling star was arrested on allegations of domestic violence, and he's now once again found himself in trouble with the law. Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam reports that Elgin was recently arrested in Japan for theft, which led him missing the July 10th Noah event in Shizuoka, Japan. I can now confirm the reason for Michael Elgin's absence is due to the fact that he was arrested last weekend in Japan for stealing. Sources confirmed to me that Elgin was arrested for stealing protein powder and that he is currently still in jail. Word going around is that Elgin could be facing up to 5 years in jail unless a potential deal is arranged similar to the one Matt Sydal worked out for his cannabis arrest in 2016, where the charges were dropped, but he would never be allowed to return to Japan again. Whatever happens in the future, it looks likely that Elgin's days wrestling in Japan may be over, and we'll keep following this case for further updates. For over a year, Bayley has been out of action after suffering a torn ACL during training in summer of 2021. Despite initial reports that she would be out for 9 months, that time window has come and gone, but there's now a huge sign indicating her return. PW Insider reports that Bayley will be appearing at a WWE event later this month, saying, "For those who have asked about the status of Bayley and when she's slated to return to WWE programming, PWInsider.com has learned she is scheduled to be in Nashville for Summerslam weekend. Bayley has been out of action since last summer after tearing her ACL while working out in the WWE Performance Center to prepare for the company's return to live crowds in the post-Thunderdome era." Bayley has been teasing her in-ring return as she uploaded a photo of herself with the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase before the event, and recently hinted at returning for the 20 Women Battle Royal on next week's NXT 2.0. It was back in March 2020 that Bayley last competed in front of a live crowd, and we can only hope that the role model isn't waiting much longer. Bayley hasn't returned to WWE TV just yet, but she has been spotted around and is keeping some interesting company. Reddit user Dazzo recently shared some photos from a concert in Orlando, Florida, where Bayley can be seen chatting with her good friend, Sasha Banks. Given Banks' situation with WWE, it may not be the best thing for Bayley to meet her at this time, especially with her own return getting closer by the day. Ultimately, though, Banks and Bayley are friends, and that's not going to stop because of WWE, no matter how differently the company feels about the two women in this photo. Earlier this year, Parker Boudreaux, aka Harland, was cut from WWE, which shocked fans and those in the industry. With his impressive physique, Boudreaux has been called the next Brock Lesnar, but that didn't save him from being cut, reportedly due to not showing as much improvement as WWE had hoped to see. Boudreaux may be a rookie in wrestling, but he's now working with another major company, AEW. At a recent AEW Dark taping, Boudreaux showed up and showed off his massive physique. In addition to AEW and WWE, Boudreaux debuted for MLW in June, showing up as part of the Battle Riot, which is their answer to WWE's Royal Rumble match. Showing up on Dark isn't a 100% sign that Boudreaux has signed a contract with AEW, but that may come very soon, depending on what Tony Khan makes to the young powerhouse. Boudreaux isn't the only ex-WWE name to show up for AEW recently, as Troy "Two Dimes" Donovan has also made his way to the All Elite company. At the most recent AEW Dark tapings, Donovan, now Cole Carter, was present and defeated Mike Orlando on the show. This isn't the ex-NXT star's first foray into AEW, as he worked some Dark tapings last year before getting a contract with NXT 2.0. He was released this year due to a failed drug test, but John Laurinaitis, then head of talent relations, encouraged Carter to apply for employment next year when everything is in order. In NXT 2.0, Donovan was written off with Tony D'Angelo saying he's sleeping with the fishes, but between WWE and AEW, Cole Carter could have a lot more work coming his way. We've got news from John Cena, and congratulations are in order for the 16-time WWE World Champion. This week, Cena and his wife Shay Shariatzadeh got married in a small ceremony in Vancouver with their closest friends and family present. Their marriage was already official as the pair tied the knot in a courthouse wedding 21 months ago, but now they've finally been able to celebrate with their closest loved ones. After a lifetime dedicated to wrestling, it's great to see John enjoy married life outside of the ring, and we're wishing the happy couple the best after this week's ceremony. In 2015, after decades of treating women like little more than eye candy, WWE ushered in the Women's Revolution, a deliberate effort to treat women's wrestling better. This has been successful, with female superstars now being treated close to equal to their male counterparts, but the booking of the division of late has left a lot to be desired. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reports that several female WWE talent have grown frustrated with their booking this past spring, stating, "We've seen more women featured on SmackDown in recent months, something many of the women in the company had been pushing for quite a while. Fightful had learned of several female talent that were frustrated with their utilization on the program, from the bottom of the card all the way to the top. However, we're told that several were waiting to see where the chips fell until they took it to higher-ups. Among those chips falling were the returns of Asuka and Lacey Evans, as well as Charlotte Flair taking time off. With none of them factoring into SmackDown for the foreseeable future at the time, we're told that creative was able to implement more women into the program on a regular basis, starting with the May 13th episode of WWE SmackDown. Since then, we've seen more integration of a wider variety of female performers, albeit with varying creative satisfaction. WWE's relationship with their female talent has always been unique, and it seems that even in this era, some stars are falling through the cracks. Thankfully, the situation seems to be better now, but it goes to show just how easily the company can fall back into bad habits." This month, Logan Paul signed a multi-year deal with WWE, with the popular celebrity bringing his huge fan base to the company. Paul has been confirmed to be on tomorrow night's Raw, and we now know what he'll be doing. According to WWE.com, Logan Paul will be the guest on Miz TV, and given the animosity between the two former partners and a rumored Summerslam match, expect fists to fly tomorrow night. And we're ending today with Cody Rhodes, who last month tore his pectoral muscle clean off the bone, but fought through the pain to compete at the Hell in a Cell Premium Live event. Cody has since undergone surgery, and while WWE have said that he will be gone for 9 months, many are skeptical that this number is accurate. Now, Cody has opened up about his surgery and told Busted Open Radio how things nearly were tragic while he was being operated on. "I don't think people know. I almost hemorrhaged in the surgery because there was so much blood. People have seen the picture of it in the match per se, so it was pretty gnarly." WWE has a ton of faith in Cody and has treated him as a huge deal since his return to the promotion, with many expecting him to one day become the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Hemorrhaging could have been truly catastrophic for Cody and WWE's plans for the former TNT champion, and we're incredibly thankful that it didn't happen. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.